Good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the social class, especially to the history one. Today we will start the first chapter of our history book, that is tracing changes throughout 1000 years. I had already mentioned this in my previous class that today we will start our history. Now, before starting, let me discuss with you all that history is basically divided into three parts, okay? According to the time period, this classification, categorization or division was made. So, ancient, medieval and modern, okay? These are the three parts of history. In class 6, you had read about ancient history because you had known in that particular book of class 6 about Ashoka, Chandragupta Maurya. They were the rulers of ancient India, okay? And you had also known about Pataliputra, okay? Those places of ancient India. Now in class 7 you will know about medieval history, okay? Which starts from the time period 7th century. So we will know about that. It is so much exciting fun. I hope you will enjoy it. Medieval history is all about Akbar, Shah Jahan. I hope you know him. Shah Jahan, who had built the Taj Mahal, and he was from this particular time period only, from this medieval time era only. So Akbar, Shah Jahan, Babur, Delhi Sultanate, okay? So we will know about this, and you can say also about the Rajputs of medieval India. In class 8 you will know about modern India, which starts with British. You can say the British time period, okay? All about British India you will know in class 8. But in class 7 we will know about what? Medieval time period. Let's start about that, okay? At first, look into the screen. There are two pictures. These pictures are of India. You can say the map of India, which are drawn by different person in different time period. One map belongs to the 12th century, another map is from 18th century. 12th century, that is 1154 CE, a geographer named Al-Idrisi, he had drawn this map in order to explain about the subcontinent India, okay, a section of the world map, okay, drawn by geographer Al-Idrisi in the 12th century in order to show the Indian subcontinent from land to sea, and it was made in the time period exactly in 1154 CE. But both the maps are different from each other. Another map, which is from 18th century, drawn by a French cartographer in 1720s, you can say like that, to show the Indian subcontinent, and his name was Novio of Gaulemy d'Isle. So this was his name. He was a French cartographer. His you can say map is similar to the map of India which we are using nowadays, isn't it? Nowadays the map of India looks like this, and this is similar to the map which is drawn in the 18th century. But the map which was drawn in 12th century, that is totally different, because in the 12th century map you can just see, go through it properly, that the Sri Lanka part, which is in the, you can say, bottom actually, and in 18th century map also it is in the bottom, but in 12th century map it was shown at the top, the Sri Lanka part, which is, if we will say now, it is wrong, because Sri Lanka should be in the bottom, but at that particular time period it was his viewpoint, okay? Because of the position might be, okay, we can assume like that, because now I am in face-to-face interaction with you all. This is my right side, this is my left side. When I will turn, okay, if I will turn, then this will become my left and this will become my right. Why? Because I have changed the position. Might be because of the position he had drawn like that, the map of India. But the map of India which was drawn in 18th century is quite similar. Why I have discussed this with you all now? A question arises in your mind, isn't it? this is an introductory part, and in the introductory part I have tried to explain you all the viewpoints. Okay, so when historians tried to reconstruct about past events, they had to be very much careful and sensitive. That's why I have started this particular chapter with a question. What do you understand in context of this chapter? When historians read documents, texts and maps as well, they try to reconstruct about the past events, but they have to be very much careful and sensitive before going to any kind of conclusion. So the context, the meanings might change with the time period, but in that particular time period, that was only, you can say, said to be true. Okay, but in this time period that is different, and we say that that is not matching with this time period because of the position. Okay, because of their perspective, their viewpoints, everyone's perspective and viewpoint is different. So in this way, when historians will reconstruct about the past events from the source like text, documents, map, architecture, they had to be, or they have to be, very much sensitive and careful before going through any kind of conclusion. Now let's see what we will cover up in this particular chapter. Okay, what we are going to study in this chapter, let's know that. So new and old terminologies, here we will know about some words and their meanings which change with different time period, as I have mentioned just now with you all, that in different time period the viewpoint might be different. Okay, it might varies with the time period. So new and old terminologies, there we will know words and their meanings are totally different from now. Okay, from the, you can say, if we will see now, that meaning is different, which was shown earlier differently. For example, Hindustan. Now Hindustan means the whole India, but earlier what it meant we will know just after a short time, because we will start this topic at first today. Then we will know about historians and their source, how they had used the source in order to reconstruct the past events. Then we will also know about new social and political groups, especially the Rajput and the Jatis. We will also know about the region and empire of medieval India, old and new religions of medieval India. We will also know about the thinkings about time and historical period. Okay, how they used to think. Okay, about the time period and the historical period as well. I hope you will enjoy this chapter. Let's start with our first topic, that is new and old terminology. As I have mentioned that we will start with this point, new and old terminology. So let's start. If the information change with the time, then language and meaning can also change. I have already mentioned this in my introductory part, that if time period change with the time period, the information or the particular meaning of that word might also change. History was written in different language, and in different language there were also different viewpoints, different words, you can say, of different time period, defining about different perspective or different meanings. Medieval period and modern Persian are different. Okay, medieval period and modern Persian are different. How? We will know. It is different through vocabulary, it is different through grammar, it is different through meaning and all that. Now how it is different we will know with an example. As an example we can take the word Hindustan. Now what does we mean now with the word Hindustan? Hindustan means stand for the modern nation state India. Okay, Hindustan nowadays means the whole India, isn't it? But earlier in the 13th century, Miraj-e Siraj. Now who was Miraj-e Siraj? Miraj-e Siraj was a person who used to write about history, and he was in the court of one of the ruler of medieval India in that particular time period, that is 13th century. Okay, so in 13th century Miraj-e Siraj used the term Hindustan, okay, to explain about the areas like Punjab, Haryana, lands of lands between Ganga and Yamuna. So now the word Hindustan is used in order to describe about the whole India, the whole nation. But earlier, Miraj Isiraj, who was a historian, he had used this word Hindustan to describe about only Punjab, Haryana and lands between Ganga and Yamuna, only these areas. Okay, he had used this word to describe only this area. But now the viewpoint is changed. Now Hindustan means what? The whole nation. So with the time period, meanings also change. Okay, word remains the same, but meanings of that word change with the time period. Now Miraj Isiraj was, you can say, a historian during 13th century, and he was in Delhi Sultanate, you can say. Okay. Now we will know about Babur. Let's take his example. The next example is about Babur. Okay, Babur, who was the ruler of Mughal Empire. Babur also used this word Hindustan. But he had used this word Hindustan in order to describe about the geography of India, okay? About the fauna, that means the animals, the flowers, okay? The culture of India. So, he had used Hindustan to describe about the geography, about the fauna, about the culture of India. Historians have to be very careful. I have already discussed this in my introductory part. He had to be very, or he or she, the historian, had to be very much careful and also sensitive while going through any kind of conclusion. So about the term they use, they have to be very much careful about it. Why? We will know that. Because they meant different things in the past. Okay? In the past, the words or the term may meant something different. Okay? Just we have known that about Hindustan, how the word Hindustan, now it is used to describe about the whole India, about our country. But Miraj had used this word to describe about some part of India, that is Punjab, Haryana, Ganga and Yamuna areas, okay. But Babur had used this word Hindustan to describe about geography, like the animals, flowers, okay, the fauna and the culture of India. For example, the word foreigner, okay. Now what do we mean by the word foreigner? The word foreigner means someone who is not an Indian. For example, someone who have come from other parts of the world, like an American will be foreigner for us because he or she is not the person, okay, living in our subcontinent, living in India. So foreigner means someone who is not an Indian according to what? According to the time period we are living, okay. So now it means that. But earlier the term foreigner was used in different perspective, in different viewpoint. How? We will know that, okay. So earlier the word foreigner in medieval India, okay, this word foreigner or the term foreigner was used for any stranger who appeared in a given village, someone who was not a part of that society or culture. For example, today you can say I am from UP, okay. I have gone to Madhya Pradesh, to MP. Then the people of MP in you can say will regard me as you can say Indian only, because I have visited this place in the time period in now, okay. But in medieval India, if I have done that, then what will happen? They will describe me as foreigner because I belong to UP and I have visited MP. I am not from their society, I am not from their culture, so I am foreigner. But now the viewpoint changed. Now foreigner means who is not part of India. But earlier foreigner means what? In medieval India, you can say in that particular time period, foreigner means the person who is not part of that society or culture. Okay, we use now Pardesi, that means Ajnabi, Pardesi, the same thing. Okay, earlier the word foreigner means that only. But now foreigner means who is not part of India. So I have given this example to explain you all about that with the time period, the term remains same, but the meaning of the term change. Okay, so with different time period, the meaning of the term change. That's all in this new and old terminologies. I hope you have enjoyed. First we have known about Hindustan. Okay, how the word remains same and the meaning changed. Hindustan used by Miraj to describe about some parts of India. Now Hindustan means the whole India. Babar had used Hindustan to describe about geography. So same like that, the term foreigner, now we use the term to describe about someone who is not the part of India. Earlier the term foreigner is used to describe about any stranger who appeared to a given village and who is not belong to or not part to that society or culture. I hope you are clear. Now we will know about the sources. Okay, the sources and so historians and their sources. Historians used to rely or depend on certain sources in order to know about the past events. Okay, so from this kind of sources like coins, inscription, architecture and textual records, historians used to reconstruct about past events. In class 6 you had known about Gupta dynasty, Harshvardhan and so on. This year roughly we are going to study about 1000 years. Okay, that is the medieval period, starts from 700 to 1750. So we will cover up this span of years. What are the sources to study history? As I have mentioned just now, that historians used to rely on certain sources like coins, inscription, architecture and textual records. In class 6 you have known about how historians were dependent on coins, inscription and architecture, isn't it? In this particular period, that is from 700 to 1750 also, historians used to you can say, in order to reconstruct about past events, they used to rely on this source only. But textual record increase in this particular period of time. Why? As paper became cheaper and it was widely available, people used paper in order to write holy texts, chronicles of rulers, letters and teachings of saints, petitions and judicial record. These were written with the help of the paper or with the use of paper, because paper was cheaper also and it was widely available. This all became the source of history for the historians to know about the past events. These were the source. What are the source? Old historical coins, inscriptions, architecture, textual records. Okay, and people used to record things with the use of paper, as paper are cheaper and widely available. People wrote holy texts, chronicles of rulers were written, letters and teachings of saint, petition and judicial records were written by the people with the use of paper. And this were the relevant source in order to reconstruct the past event. Manuscripts were collected, okay, by wealthy people, rulers, monasteries and temples. They were placed in libraries. You all know what is libraries. And archives. Now what is archives? Archives is a place where documents and manuscripts were stored. Now a question arises in your mind. What do we mean by manuscript? So in our next class we will discuss about manuscripts and scribes. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed today's session. Today at first we have known how you can say maps were drawn by different people at different time period, but they had used this you can say they used to describe about the same subcontinent, that is India, but the structure was different. And we had also known about certain words like Hindustan, how Hindustan was used in different time period and the meaning was different. Okay, the meaning changed. And also we had known about the term foreigner, how it changed with different time period. Now we had known about the sources which were used by the historians in order to reconstruct about past events. I hope you were clear. But if you have any kind of queries, feel free to contact me. See you next class. That is on